So, Dad, tell me, what school did you go to when you were a kid?
Me?
Yeah.
Campsie Primary School.
Yeah. What year did you start? Do you remember?
Oh, probably 1944.
44. You enjoy school?
And I didn't have to go to the boss's office.
No.
Get the cane. No.
So you were.
No, I didn't particularly enjoy school, but I never wagged it either.
Mhm.
It was just a responsibility to go to school, and that's what we did.
Yep. Did you wear shoes to school? Because I know back then some kids didn't.
No, we wore shoes.
Yeah. And then anything memorable from primary school that you can think of?
Only when I fell over playing soccer and cut my knee on the base of a beer bottle in the long grass.
Yeah, okay.
Remember that?
Yeah. That was about 10 stitches or
I
something?
can remember the teacher's name that drove me to Canterbury Hospital. It was Mr. Boyle.
Mr. Boyle. Ah.
He had an emerald green little Morris car.
Mhm.
Funny how some things stick in your mind.
Yeah. Well, I guess you had that reminder on your knee.
I don't know.
Mm.
Anyway, he took me.
Yep. You told me a story years ago where you'd get the job of going to buy the bread from the baker.
That was common.
Yep. And you were saying by the time you got home, a bit of it had been nibbled out of the middle.
Big hole in the middle of the loaf of bread, yeah.
So you just walked down to the bakery, or?
Oh, yeah.
Yeah.
It was about a kilometre.
Yep.
Mile at the most, yeah.
Okay. And what high school did you go to?
I didn't. I went to Belmore Concentration Camp. Otherwise known as Belmore Secondary Technical School.
Okay.
Of course, we did woodwork, tech drawing, and carpentry.
Mhm. You would have enjoyed that, all right, wouldn't you?
Oh, yeah.
Doing the manual subjects.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I didn't want to go to high school and do all those bookwork. But when I went to primary school, I was always about 22nd or 26th in the class.
Yeah.
When I went to Belmore, I got ducks to school.
Oh, really? Well, I guess you were in the right place then.
Must have been enjoying it.
What was your favourite subject?
Oh, probably woodwork and tech drawing.
Yeah. And then you went to, was it still like years, like year 9, 8, 9, 10, or?
Yeah.
Yeah.
But I left school at 15 because
Yep.
it only went to that
Okay.
level.
Yep.
If I'd gone to high school, I might have had to stay till I was 17.
Yeah, right. And then once you left Belmore Tech, what'd you do then?
Got an apprenticeship as a carpenter.
Yeah. Do you remember the company you were working for, or the bloke you were?
Stewart's and Stubbs and Collett.
Yeah, okay. And where were they based?
They were at Padstow.
Yep.
I was living at Campsie.
Okay.
And in those days, the bloke come round to the house to interview me.
Yeah, right. Wow.
Things have changed a lot since then.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah.
And where did you do most of that sort of work when you were...
Oh, in Sydney, out in the Padstow, Revesby, out that area.
Yep.
Because that's where they were based.
Because that would have been a new sort of area back then, wouldn't it?
Oh, yeah, sort of. Yeah, well, 'cause Sydney's always expanding.
Yeah, yeah. And then you said you were working for a guy in Caringbah for a while.
Yeah, well, I left them and I went to something constructions, Crusade Constructions.
Yeah, okay.
And the bloke that owned it, he was pretty strong in the church, so he got the name Crusade
Oh,
Construction.
okay.
But I didn't get me involved.
No. So you were doing a bit of draftsman work there for a while, weren't you?
Well, I got invited into the office, and but I didn't enjoy that. Stuck that out for 3 months and went back out on the tools.
Yeah. Yeah, you preferred the sunshine and the fresh air?
Yeah.
Yeah. Oh, yeah.
Didn't want to be locked up in an office.
Yeah. So, what made you... So then you went from carpentry into truck driving?
Yeah, well, while I was a carpenter doing my apprenticeship,
Yeah.
I had to do national service
Ah, yes. Yeah.
with the guns and the Studebakers that used to tow the guns.
Yep.
They put me on the guns to start with, and that's when I went bloody deaf
Yep.
at 18. Never forgive them for that. And then I didn't like the bloody noise because where the bloody thing went, one bang was right there next to my ear. So.
Yeah.
Anyway, I managed to swap over and get on the trucks that towed the gun. So
Yeah.
we'd tow the gun and drop it wherever some boss said to put it, and then we go and hide the truck and stay with the truck for a day or two.
Okay. And that was your job, guard the truck?
Oh, well, it was my truck.
Yeah, understood. Did you enjoy national service?
I did.
You did?
I did.
Yeah?
I reckon all young people should do national service, girls and boys.
Yeah.
Because when we went in there was a couple of deros got in assigned to where we were,
Yeah.
and the army straightened them out pretty smart,
Yeah.
and they turned out to be good people, you know.
Yeah.
And everyone did it in those days. It was really good.
Any memorable events while you anything that really stuck out while you were in national service?
No.
It was just the
Just mundane, you know.
yeah.
Do as you're told.
Yeah.
You had a lot of mates with you. It was good camaraderie.
Yeah. And that was sort of what got you into or exposed you to trucks, I suppose.
That's correct, yeah.
Yeah. Okay.
It's the bloke that owned, when I was at Crusade Constructions, the foreman that was driving around, he was pretty big up in the church.
Okay.
But he also had a couple of trucks, cement mixers.
Ah, okay.
So one of them he wasn't making any money out of, so he took the mixer off and put a trailer on it.
Okay, yeah.
I got the job driving that interstate.
Yeah, right. And you enjoyed truck driving, didn't
I
you?
did.
Yeah.
They didn't have synchromesh gearboxes in those days.
This was when truck drivers were truck drivers, eh, Dad?
Exactly, yeah. But we also weren't pushed, you know. We used to do Sydney, Melbourne, Sydney. That's 5 days' work. Yeah.
Yeah, okay.
Now they do it overnight.
Yeah.
Up one way, down the other, and next day.
So it's almost as if, in one hand, the actual driving of the truck is easier, but the conditions are have deteriorated somewhat.
Yeah, probably. But, you know, no regard now for a person's safety or well-being or health or anything. You just are figuring their trucks are so damned expensive, they've got to work them hard to make them pay.
Yeah.
But, you know, we used to crawl up the big hills and those second gear and things like that, and we'd wave all the traffic around.
Yep.
Now you can't keep up with the bloody trucks on the hills.
Well,
They want you out of the way.
Yeah. Oh, wow.
Yeah.
And then that was, you were driving trucks when you got your first girlfriend, I suppose?
No, I wasn't. I was an apprentice.
Oh, okay.
We were building a house opposite her place, and I used to see her coming out the front gate and walk up to the Canberra station to get the train.
Yeah, okay.
So one morning I offered her a lift.
Yeah.
Anyway, went from there.
What was her name?
It was Valmay.
Yeah, okay.
Valmay Henschel.
Yeah, right.
Never heard it.
No, it sounds German.
That was a girl you saw sitting on the mudguard of the Holden.
So you had your first car was an FJ Ute.
Yep.
Yep.
But anyway, then I got the job driving the trucks, and of course that took me away.
Yep.
I wasn't home much, so she didn't see so much of me, so that was the end of that.
Yeah, okay.
Can't blame her for that.
Nah, Oh
But
well.
she was pretty strong in the Salvation Army too,
Yeah. Okay.
so it didn't worry me getting me away from that.
Yeah. So then, your FJ Ute. How long did you have that for?
I don't know. I got a Zephyr after that.
Yeah. I remember.
I would have had it for a few years at least.
Yeah. Okay. The number plate was VR something. What was the
447?
447?
Yeah.
And your dad had a name for it or something, didn't he?
Oh, Mum and Dad. Yeah,
Yeah.
they called it Very Reliable.
Yeah. Because they never owned a car, did they? Or?
Never. Yeah.
No.
I believe Dad had a car when he was a single bloke before he got married.
Yeah. Okay.
I don't know what happened to that. Never had a car after.
Yeah. Right. Always caught public transport.
Yep.
You were telling me a story years ago that he used to, on a Friday afternoon, I think it was, have a few beers with the boys, and then catch a train home. And you were telling me the story that he fell asleep once,
Twice.
So what can you tell me that story?
Well, he fell asleep, and the train come to Campsie Station and went on. And then that night they put it in the sheds at Punchbowl.
Okay.
So he woke up in the middle of the night somewhere in pitch black.
Yeah.
He had to grope his way and find his way down onto the tracks and walk all the way around the tracks to Punchbowl Station and catch a train back to Campsie. And it happened twice.
Now, Pa, he was a fitter and turner, wasn't he, by trade? Now, there was a story about him as an apprentice. Did his company that he was working for was doing some contract work for the companies building the Sydney Harbour Bridge?
That's
Is that
right.
correct?
All the rivets, they had to make all the moulds for the rivets. Because they weren't turned, they were sort of cast, the rivets. And
Yep.
he was making all these moulds for the rivets for the Sydney Harbour Bridge.
Oh, there you go. So we got a bit of history there.
Oh, yeah. Firmly attached.
Yep.
Very riveting, that information. Yeah.
And Pa met Nana. Where did they meet?
Oh, Dad was mates with Mum's brother,
Okay.
Ron Burker. And one day Ron had Dad tagging along when they called in home.
Okay.
Mum's there in a swimming costume and a straw broom sweeping the house out, and that's when Dad met Mum.
Yeah. Okay. And where did your dad grow up?
Mossman Bay.
Mossman Bay. And Nana lived.
And you saw slides of that with the old
Yeah.
whaling station.
Yeah, that's right. Yep. And that old bridge is gone now.
Oh, well, there's a road around there now, and they filled in all that
The bay.
creek and everything. It's now an oval.
And that's that shop that was owned by your grandmother. That was immortalised in a Tom Roberts painting, wasn't it?
It's in here,
Yeah. So
on the back of this wall there.
yeah. So there's another bit of history.
And the store shed for the whaling station, that was built out of sandstone blocks and everything. And that's been totally restored, and that's still down at Mossman Bay.
I think it's a scout hall now or something.
Well, it has been, yeah.
Yeah.
What it is currently, I'm not sure.
Okay, so it was originally a whaling station there.
Yeah.
Wow.
And where Lewis's refreshment rooms are, that's where the ships used to come in there and have work done on them as well. And the crews would stay in that building there.
Yeah, okay. Wow. I remember Pa telling me a story about when he was a young fella mucking around near the slipways there, and somehow he'd slipped between the sleepers on the tracks, and he'd slid down under the sleepers and he got stuck under the water, and the bloke that come to rescue him, all he could remember seeing was bubbles coming up.
Really? I never heard that story.
Yeah, he told me that one years and years ago. Anyway, needless to say, they got him out.
Must have got him out, yeah. No, never
Yeah.
heard that one.
No? Oh, okay. Well, that was one I knew then, eh?
Yeah, you went up on me.
Um, so, so you joined the Sydney Bushwalkers. That was sort of about the same time you finished finished tech. Is that right?
Yeah, about that.
Yeah.
And it was through the Sydney Bushwalkers that I come into contact with the Mountaineers and the New Zealand Alpine Club and so on.
Yep. Okay. So, what were some of the trips you used to do with the Sydney Bushwalkers?
Oh, down National Park was common. Up the Blue Mountains, Gross Valley, Canimbla Valley.
Yep.
Out to the Cowmung River and Chinolan Caves and all around, mostly the Blue Mountains and a bit down the south coast.
Yep. And any memorable people that you used to walk with in the club?
Only the people I kept telling you about last night or the
Yeah.
night before.
Yeah. And then the New Zealand Alpine Club. So I'm guessing you just heard about it through Sydney Bushwalkers and thought
Yeah.
that was a good idea to join up.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Well, someone probably said, why don't you come along?
And you thought that was a pretty good
I thought,
idea.
well, why not, you know?
Yeah. Okay. And so you did 2 trips to New Zealand, didn't you?
Mm.
So they were 6 weeks each.
Yeah.
Yep. And what was the main sort of thing you did when you went to New Zealand?
Mountaineering.
Yeah.
We did a first week there was training with the New Zealand Alpine Club.
Yep.
And the rest of it was travelling around trying to do what you do over there.
Yeah. Okay. You were telling me a story about a bloke had fallen down a waterfall and he'd injured himself.
Broke his leg.
Yeah.
I showed you the photo.
Yeah. So it was a compound fracture,
Yeah.
and
Someone you saw a photo of his foot was turned 90 degrees to his leg.
Yeah.
Couldn't do that unless it was broken.
Now, you had the job of shooing the flies away, didn't you?
Well, I volunteered to do it
Yeah. Okay.
because it seemed good to take the bandages off and let the sun get at it.
Yeah.
You know, give it a rest,
Yeah.
and then all the flies come, and everyone was. I said, I'll fix it. So I'm having my lunch with this hand and keeping the flies off with this one. Didn't worry me.
Yeah. And it sounds like they got him fixed up, and
Oh yeah,
he come good.
yeah.
Yeah.
He's a school teacher.
Yeah. Okay. Was he New Zealand based or Australian?
Oh,
He wasn't part of
he
your.
wasn't part of our group.
Yeah. Okay.
I don't know who he belonged to.
Yeah. Okay.
Doesn't matter. You go and help.
Yeah. Well, that's right. And so there was an intention you wanted to do Mount Cook, didn't you?
Yeah.
But it
We're
didn't.
going to do Mount Tasman first
Yep.
and then Mount Cook.
Okay.
But neither of them happened.
And why didn't they happen?
Because the avalanche come down and flattened the hut we were going to stay in one night.
Yep. But you meant
Tasman hut.
Tasman hut? Yep. So you were meant to be in that hut that night, weren't
We
you?
were.
Yep.
But we were going to fly in,
Yep.
but we couldn't fly in because of bad weather.
That's probably
And because of the bad weather, the avalanche come down.
so that's probably the best missed flight you've ever had.
Yeah.
Yeah. And then you ended up getting to that hut the next day, didn't you?
Next day or the day after, yeah.
Yeah.
And we had to go and see what all the kerfuffle was about.
Yep. And you couldn't sleep in that hut anymore, could you? Because there was a giant boulder.
Yeah,
Right.
well, it only flattened one end of the hut.
Yep.
Half the hut was flattened, and the other half, which is where the kitchen and everything was,
Yep.
was still there.
Mm-hmm.
So we climbed in over these rocks on that half and cooked our meal and
Yep.
cups of tea and everything else. And then we're sitting on this big rock, and one other bloke must have sensed the body was still there. So we didn't know.
Yeah.
The rock was too big to move. They must have moved it eventually, but
Yeah. So there was one bloke, he wouldn't come in the hut, would he?
that's correct.
But there was no indication that there was somebody still
No.
stuck under the rock.
Not at all.
But Yeah, okay. So then, I guess that was sort of the end of the Mount Cook.
Well, yeah, it was. Yeah.
Yeah. I also noticed in some of those shots you went down to Milford Sound, and that was you were opening up a new route.
Well, we're going to try and climb a southern ridge.
Yep.
At the opening into Milford Sound from
Yep.
Tasman Stream.
So that was the northern side of Milford Sound, wasn't it? And you were going to follow that up and
just be the first to climb up
yeah.
via that ridge. Yeah, hadn't been done.
So it was about 4 of you guys.
3 of us.
3.
Me and Yarmack and a New Zealand guy.
Yeah. Okay. And you had a bit of a stack or something, didn't you?
Yeah.
And
I fell down and you got the right place. Yeah, but I started to slip down and had my pack on my back. So I'm facing out from the slope, so the pack's going boom, 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 boom. And I put my arms out, and that went over a sharp rock.
oh wow.
And that was cut on a rock, because I'm going, you know.
Yeah.
Anyway, it took us 3 days to get down, get on the boat, and then hitchhike to wherever the doctor was, which was a fair way away.
Yeah.
And it was 3 days from when I fell to when I saw the doctor. And in the meantime, we only had those sort of band-aids that you put across.
Yep.
And he looked at it, he said, you'll be fine. No stitches, no nothing.
So you're thinking maybe
Well, look at the way it's healed up.
it looks fine. Yeah.
So we must be pretty good doctors too.
I guess there was a part of you that thought maybe I should have just kept going.
No.
No. Okay.
No. So that wasn't a successful trip either. We didn't achieve our objective.
Yeah, but you got out there at least, which
No,
is
we got out there, we got halfway up the mountain.
Yep. Yeah. Okay. And then, so when you went to New Zealand, it was probably about the 3rd year that the Sydney bushwalkers had been out to New Zealand, wasn't it?
Oh, I've no idea.
Yeah.
No idea.
So you were hiking with, who was your climbing partner?
Colin Putt.
Colin Putt. And Yarmack
He was just with us.
he was with you as well. And Dot Butler was another memorable member of the group.
Yeah, but this trip down there to Milford Sound we sort of did after we'd been doing whatever the group were doing before that.
Yeah, okay.
We weren't ready to go home, so we were looking for another challenge.
Yeah, okay.
And that's what people join, people leave.
Yep. Yeah. Oh, very good. And you sailed across, didn't you, to New Zealand? There was no flying back then.
Yes, we flew the second time. The first time we sailed
Okay.
on the Monowai.
Yeah. And apparently you were saying it was quite noisy in the berthing that you were given on the boat.
Yeah. Well, it was down the back because we got the cheapest cabins on the boat.
Mm-hmm.
You know, save the dollars.
Yep.
It was too noisy, and also on the back of the boat, you're here, you know, going up and down, up and down.
Yeah.
So we ended up on the hatch covers.
Slept on the hatch covers, eh?
Yeah, in our sleeping bag,
Yep.
warm as toast.
Yeah.
And of course, that's the most stable part of the ship.
Yep. Very good. So you lived in Canberra for a while?
Yeah, when I was working for Crusade Constructions.
Okay. Yep. And you did a bit of work on Lake Burley Griffin, didn't you?
No, we actually, when I had driving a truck for a company in Canberra,
Yep.
we ended up carrying pipes
Okay.
down to the Lake Yucambine there.
Yep.
Pipes were manufactured in Canberra, and we took them down to Snowy.
Yeah, okay. Okay, so you did a bit of work with a Snowy scheme.
Well, only taking the pipes down.
Oh, well, that's still part of it, isn't
Oh,
it?
yeah.
Yeah.
I was one of the 127 nationalities or something.
Yeah, that was sort of the start of multiculturalism in Australia,
In
wasn't
Australia,
it?
yeah.
Yeah, that was one of our big projects, I suppose.
It's still probably the biggest project taken on in Australia.
Yeah. Okay.
I would guess.
Yeah. And then, what got you into flying?
Well, I got a book in there called Boys Book of the Royal Air Force, something like that.
Yeah.
It's Royal Air Force, that's English.
Yeah.
Anyway, I had this book and I just had this interest in it, but that's all.
Yeah.
And I was living in Queanbeyan and I was living next door to another girlfriend.
Yeah.
I read a story. Anyway, we had a blue, so I jumped in my car. Of course, we're living next door. I just wanted to get away a bit.
Yeah.
Jumped in my car and went for a drive, and I went driving down past Canberra Airport, and I saw a little sign on the footpath saying Canberra Aero Club.
Yep.
I said, oh, I'll go in here. So I went in there and made inquiries, and I left an hour later. I had 4 hours later I left. I had my first flying lesson. I joined the club. I bought a logbook and booked the next lesson.
Yeah.
It was not my intention that day to learn to fly.
Yeah, okay.
But you never know how things in your life can change.
Absolutely.
And it was purely circumstances on that day.
Yeah. Wow.
And how lucky was I, because that shaped the rest of my life.
Absolutely. And so where did you first start flying for paid work? Burke.
New South Wales. Back of Burke.
Yep. And who were you working for?
Masling's.
Yep.
There's a company based in Cootamundra, but they had a branch in Burke.
Mm-hmm.
So they had a flying school there and charter aeroplane.
Okay.
So I went out there and got based there for a year.
Okay. And it was you were an instructor at that time? Okay. And then after Masling's, where did you go?
I went to Wagga.
Yep.
And then I did a short stint at Canberra.
Mm-hmm.
And then I got a job back with Masling's flying their twin-engine commuter aeroplanes.
Okay.
And then I got a job flying the New South Wales Air Ambulance.
Yep.
Then I got a job with TAA.
Okay. And then you were with TAA until Qantas bought them out?
No. Oh, well, yeah, but East West had the contract to operate the air ambulance.
Yeah, okay.
But I left them to join TAA.
Okay.
And then over the years, TAA was renamed Australian Airlines.
Yep.
Everyone was still the same, but had a new name.
Yep.
And that was until the 22nd of January 1992 when Qantas bought it.
Okay.
And Qantas were losing money in those days again.
Yeah.
And Australian Airlines was making money. Now, Paul Keating, being Prime Minister, decided that the loss-making airline would buy the profitable one. You never know how politics work, do you?
No. Yeah, and then that was who you stayed with until you retired. So can you remember all the different aircraft you flew over the years?
Oh, in the airline?
Yeah.
Oh, there wasn't that many.
No.
Fokker Friendship. Fokker Friendship, DC-9, 727.
Yep.
And I had a stint on the Twin Otter.
Yep.
And then the Boeing 737. That was all.
Yep. What was your favourite aircraft to fly?
Twin Otter.
The Twin Otter?
Oh, yeah.
Yeah, and why is that?
Oh, it was a bush aeroplane, and
Yep.
you didn't need runways to land a Twin Otter.
Yep.
It was great. Yeah.
Yep.
And of course, they just go anywhere, you know.
Yep.
With jets, you've got to have sealed runways and maintenance facilities and all this sort of thing.
Yep.
Twin Otter, you just have a truckload of 44-gallon drums of fuel. Yeah.
What was your favourite airliner?
Oh, DC-9.
DC-9. And what was it about the DC-9 that you liked so much?
Well, it wasn't a real easy to aeroplane to fly.
Mm-hmm.
But when you got on top of it,
Yep.
and then you were really part of the aeroplane,
Mm-hmm.
that was very satisfying.
Yep.
If you were flying a DC-9 well, you knew you were flying well.
Mm-hmm.
Well, a lot of these other aeroplanes, they're much easier to fly well.
Yeah, okay.
DC-9, how I would sum it up, more demanding,
Yep.
more satisfaction.
Yep. And I remember for quite a few years you did a bit of four-wheel driving for recreation.
Yeah.
You were in the four-wheel drive club up in Brisbane.
Toyota Land Cruiser Club.
Yep. And who was running that? That was Doug from down the road.
Doug Briley.
Doug Briley. Was he?
No, he didn't.
No, okay.
I don't think he had any. Never had a four-wheel drive to my knowledge.
No, okay. I must have got my information wrong.
I don't know where that one come from.
I remember a trip to, I think it was Fraser Island, and we were going to cut a sand scoop in the garage with a Stanley knife.
Oh, a bottle.
Yeah, old oil bottle.
Yeah.
And
Is that what you were making? A
Well-
sand scoop.
yeah, it was for going up the toilet. And I said, oh, do you mind if I do that or something, or can I do that?
Oh,
And,
you were doing it, yeah.
and what was your response?
Well, I didn't like the way you were doing it because you're pulling the knife towards you in this plastic bottle.
Yeah.
And every now and again it'd jump out of the bottle, you know. So I thought that was far too dangerous for you to be doing that. Here, let me do it. Actually, yeah, it was life-threatening because it cut the artery
Yep.
clean through. Because it's, as I pulled it, it stabbed.
Ooh.
It wasn't a cut like that.
Yeah.
You know, the Stanley knife with a point, but it stabbed it and cut the artery clean through.
Yeah, right. I didn't know that.
Yeah. And then, of course, got Mum down and wrapped some towels around it and rushed up to hospital.
Yeah.
And then I think it was about 6 weeks before that incident, I had to take you to the hospital with concussion, playing football.
Yeah, right.
Yeah. Anyway, we get there and coincidentally the nurse that come to look after me
Yeah.
is the same nurse that looked after you
Yeah,
with your
right.
concussion.
Yeah, okay.
She says, looked at me, because I took you in there, didn't I?
Yeah.
Yeah, I remember you anyway. She says, oh yeah, what did you do? Yeah, come over. She took me over to the hand basin and took the towels off.
Yep.
And she thought it was just a cut. But as soon as she did that, being an artery, it just pumped blood out all down the front of her new white uniform and everything.
Well, I guess you didn't need to convince her that it was an artery at that time.
Well, I didn't know it was an artery either. I just cut myself as far as I was concerned.
Yeah, okay.
So anyway, apparently they called the police. Of course, they wouldn't know whether it was me trying to commit suicide
Yeah.
or an accident. You know?
Yeah, okay.
Anyway, what's that tractor?
Yeah, old
Is
mate
it
next
picking
door.
up bales?
I don't know what he's doing. He's towing something.
Oh, he's got bales on a trailer, I can tell. See him stacked up.
Oh, yeah, yeah.
I did that for Bob one day and stacked all his bales when he was too crook
Yeah, okay.
with his knee.
Yeah, right.
I enjoyed that too,
Yeah.
because he had good tractor, good equipment.
It helps when you got good equipment.
Anyway, what were we saying?
You're a little
Yeah,
busy.
so the poor nurse, she ended up with all this blood down the front of her uniform. Anyway, I must have convinced them it was an accident. 'Cause
Yeah.
So there you go, you never know. I can understand why they'd sort of report something like that.
Yeah, yeah, for sure. Yeah, okay. Yeah, well.
You
Thank
remember a lot of things.
Oh, well. It's been a lot of time to remember, I suppose.
You remember a lot of things I've spent a lot of time forgetting.
Yeah.
Not necessarily deliberate.
Yeah. Alrighty. Oh, thank you for that, Dad.
That's all right. We're finished, are we?
I don't know. What else have we got?
Well, when did that got us up to when? About,
That was
about
late.
25 years ago.
About the late 80s.
Oh, was it?
Yeah, something like that.
Well, it's about 25 years ago, isn't it?
Oh, what are we? What is it? 2015 now? 20, 30 years ago? No, I don't know. 20 something years ago.
And then something happened once to you. You cut yourself, and I think you were convinced you were going to die.
Oh no, at the tip, and I cut my leg on a.
Yeah, that's right.
Oh, I didn't think I was going to die, but it was certainly.
It was a big gash.
It was a bit of a spectacle because it really opened the old leg up.
It did.
Mm.
You got the scar still? You must have.
Oh yeah, that's not going anywhere. Sort of like your your knee you did on the beer bottle. They won't go away. Yeah, that was out of Redlands
Yeah, that's it.
Rugby Club when it was still a tip.
Yeah, yeah.
And that's a football. That's a football oval now where that happened.
Yeah.
And then lived out at Alex Hills there for.
We didn't take. I took you to hospital for that one, didn't I?
Yeah, it was a Sunday.
Because we were together.
Yeah. Because we went to the tip, you had taken something to the tip, so I'm like, yeah, I'll go.
Yeah, that's right.
Yeah.
Wonder what I wrapped it up with.
I don't think we did.
Yeah, it didn't bleed.
Because it just sort of stopped bleeding after a while. I thought, oh, we'll just, we're heading straight to the doctors. Just leave it be, I think.
Oh, well. Get one way to get attention, I suppose.
Yeah, it works. Alrighty.
That's all right.
Want some lunch or something?
Yeah. Help yourself.
And you had an RL28 there for a while too, didn't you? So when did you get the old RL28?
Oh, I don't know. You're testing the memory.
That'd be sometime in the 80s, wouldn't it?
Probably.
Yeah. You did a few trips in that, didn't you? You did a few trips in the RL28.
Oh, yeah.
Anything memorable that you can think of?
Oh, all the trips on the boat were memorable.
Yeah. You went to... I remember doing a trip on Sydney Harbour in the RL28.
That's right, yeah.
I just remember going under the bridge.
Oh, we had to do that, didn't we?
Yeah, absolutely. And you also went up to the Great Barrier Reef with Alan on one trip, didn't you? Your brother?
Oh, I'm trying to think.
I don't remember.
I did have it up the Snowy Mountains, yeah, up there, yeah. But I remember one day we went to launch the boat, and Max and Janice and the boys must have been there.
Yeah, okay.
And I was putting the mast up, and Eric yelled out, "Stop!" And like a fool, I was putting it up under a power line.
Oh, goodness me.
He always remembers and reminds me.
Yeah.
And thank goodness he did.
Wow. Because that could have been the last time you ever put it up.
Well, yeah, we had the RL28 when we were living in Mackay.
Oh, really?
Yeah.
Yeah,
I was
okay.
flying Twin Otters out of Mackay over to Brampton, and
Mm-hmm.
so, yeah, that's how that came about.
Yeah, okay. And then you had the, you sold the RL28, and for quite a few years you didn't have any boat, and then you bought a catamaran. What sort of cat was that one?
It was a one-all. It was made down the Tweed River. Can't think of the name of it now. You have to ask me another day when I can remember. Here, finish them off.
Righto. one of your more popular trips was around Moreton Bay on that one, wasn't it? Go over to Tangalooma.
Oh yeah, well, one of the most convenient when we were living in Cleveland.
Climb the sand dunes over at Tangalooma.
You kids enjoyed it.
Yeah. And then when you retired, you took that up around the Whitsundays, is that right? You lived on it for a while.
No, went up as far as Lizard Island,
Mm-hmm.
right up past Cairns,
Okay.
and then we come back to Cairns.
Yep.
And it already had a house there to move into.
Yep. And then
Which we did.
okay. And then when you sold that one, you were sort of had scratched that itch.
Oh, well, decided that multi-hull's the way to go.
Yeah.
And that's what we did.
Okay. And then probably your last major toy was the Jabberoo, wasn't it?
Still is.
Yep.
And the Studebaker, but
Yep.
I didn't know how long it'd take me to sell the Studebaker.
Yep. And then sold the Studebaker and trying to sell the Jabberoo
I
now.
don't know what to make of that bloke today, whether he had an interest in it or not.
Mm.
He was just tired kicking and taking photos.
Um,
And he's also, the